Like most men, I want to die in combat, being a hero, carrying my brothers across enemy lines, saving lives, kicking ass, giving medical attention to people bleeding out all over the place and stuff. And also, like most men, I am a coward. So I thought to myself, what is the best way to simulate administering medical attention in an active combat situation while still remaining within the comfort of my own home? And the perfect solution came to me, like God whispering down to me. I need to give myself stick and poke tattoos while hooked up to a menstrual cramp simulator. Now, unlike other videos I've made allegedly in the past, there's actually nothing illegal about what I'm doing. You can go and buy a TENS unit for like 40 bucks on Amazon. You can get a sewing needle and some pen ink or something, or you can even buy a tattoo kit. Basically, the plan as it stands right now is I need to do a little bit of nerve mapping, right? I need to basically test and put TENS unit electrodes all over my arm and body to see kind of what the most effective way to simulate the fear of an active combat environment. And then once I do that, I basically just start poking myself. So yeah, let's get it started. But first, we're going to have a quick lesson in TENS units and tattoos. The TENS in TENS unit stands for transcutaneous electrical nerve stimulation. Bit of a mouthful, but it basically just means it activates your nerves through your skin. More specifically, those nerves activate muscle cells. There are 3 kinds of muscle cells: skeletal, smooth, and cardiac. Both smooth and cardiac muscle cells are not consciously controlled by us. So cardiac cells is obviously your heart beating, which we don't want to control anyway. That kind of wants to do its own thing. And smooth muscles are organs we don't control. Think intestine motility or the tail end of your swallowing animation. So we only care about skeletal muscle. Skeletal muscle is things we can control, things that we can do this and this. Oh god. And what the TENS unit does is it basically sends an electrical signal to the muscle cell that says, hey, do stuff. So what happens is voltage gated ion channels, sodium, flood into the muscle cell, causing it to depolarize. Then, after it reaches a high enough depolarization level, it repolarizes, and a bunch of potassium comes up and drops it back down. Very simple. It gets a little less simple as you apply it to real life, because the graph that you see is on a scale of milliseconds, right? And we're talking about maybe a few dozen milliseconds for this whole curve to happen. And obviously, we don't flex our muscles in milliseconds. We flex it in sometimes multiple seconds. Within muscle cells, there is a concept of a refractory period, both an absolute one and a relative one. Now, of course, within the absolute refractory period, the muscle cell cannot activate again. Within the relative refractory period, it absolutely can. And so that's how we maintain constant muscle tension or activation. Basically, the electrical signal is strong enough, the repolarization is constantly happening, and so we are able to continue a contraction. We obviously can't continue it forever, it can't increase the strength infinitely. If something like that were to occur, the official term for it is tetanus. Let's say you hooked up a muscle cell to an electrical thing. If you cranked it all the way, it would be called tetanus. Basically, the muscle cell action potential, the electrical signals would summate. There would be such a large amount of electrical signals being sent that eventually they would summate together or combine together and create this huge action potential that's like super long, and you don't want that. It hurts really bad. So that's that. And for tattoos is just you put ink in skin. It's not that hard. It's not it's not that complicated. And then it stays there, right? I can even pull up some histology of ink and skin. Pretty straightforward. But yeah, now we can continue with our scheduled programming.
I'm going to start putting on electrode pads and trying to figure out kind of what the most effective way to simulate fear is, I guess. One thing to be careful of if you're going to do this at home, which you shouldn't, well, unless you want to use this for its actual intended purpose, try not to do both hands or forearms at the same time, because if you turn the strength on too much, you're just going to clamp up and you're going to become like borderline arthritic or whatever, and you're not going to be able to turn it off, and it's going to be very uncomfortable and very awkward for you and anyone around you. So yeah, something to be wary of. Here's a little medical lesson for you. Your muscles are kind of just in like bags, flesh bags, fascia bags, whatever you want to call them. You have like, you can try this at home. If you grab your forearm and you shift it around, like your muscles will move with it, right? It'll move with it, with the bag that it's in. So if you turn your arm, since the pads are on superficially, I guess they're on the skin, if you turn it, they're not really changing much in terms of the position of the skin, but they are changing in terms of what muscles they're affecting, right? So like, if I turn in, this happens. If I turn out, I can kind of more easily let go, right? Like this, I can very easily kind of go flat out. The second I turn in, yeah, this is the layout, I think. I used to know the names of these, not anymore, really. One on the flexor, one on the, what is that, the short head probably. Let's say one on the kind of half front, half side delt, and then one on the back. Okay, we're gonna get started here in a second, but first things first, we have to make sure everything's clean. Okay, so I'm set up now. I did buy a kit. I do also have, or I had some sewing needles left over. So I do want to try doing it with just, because in theory you can do a stick and poke with just a sewing needle and like pen ink. Maybe look into what type of pen ink, because some pen ink is toxic, assuming you want to do, I don't know, something lavish. But I did buy a kit. I also have sewing needles, so I kind of want to see how they compare. I know this looks like a lot, but like a good chunk of it is actually worthless. Like it's more something like that. That's about what we're working with. And even then, a lot of this stuff is kind of one-time use or over multiple uses. Like this is just ink caps to hold ink, and then this is just ink, right? So yeah, let's get started. There's no way that's what I'm supposed to do, but it worked. Seemingly no instructions, so we'll call that done. For the sewing needle, I'm probably just gonna tape this to a colored pencil, because that makes sense to me. Okay, good enough. Weapon of choice. Next I need to shave myself. I'm thinking like, probably right here. Maybe I'm a little too close, maybe right there. Okay, probably bigger than I wanted it, but I'd rather go over than under here. Before I get the alcohol pads, I need to attach the TENS units still, right? So it really doesn't like that, but okay, we're set up. So I'll cover on that, and that'll go into the pocket. Perfect. The only thing we have left is to get started, really. First, we need to sterilize this, of course. There's a couple different ways to sterilize needles. The most straightforward way that I saw is just to kind of do this, and then once you're done with that, you just want to wipe off the char. Oh, that's super awkward. Wipe off the char, and you're good. You could boil it. You don't have to burn it. You could just use alcohol. Okay, we're set up. I am convulsing a little bit. Let's get it started. Some of these, I can tell, are definitely going in too deep, but that's okay. The goal is to try and make an X. I know what you're thinking, Gurm, why aren't you wiping off the ink to see where you're going, to see where the ink is actually being deposited in the skin? There is no fucking way it matters if I can see what I'm doing or not. If this was, like, anything but my first time doing this, I would agree with you, but I'm not even gonna try and pretend like I can tell what's going on. Keeping the skin taut definitely helps, because otherwise I feel like the needle just kind of bounces. But if you keep it taut, it actually goes in. I don't know if any of the cameras are picking it up, I kind of doubt it. There's actually a really nice kind of popping sound that happens when you do one of the needles correctly. At least I think it's when I'm doing it correctly. Okay, let's see what we've got so far. Okay, I mean, not bad. I'm bleeding a little bit, I mean, inevitable. But the parts where the ink still kind of remains is where I actually deposited it. Okay, so I have kind of an idea of where I want to go then. There are different size sewing needles. I don't even know what gauge this is, but basically I tried to find the smallest needle possible. Or if it's too big, you're obviously going to end up just wounding yourself, right? I'm actually kind of starting to get into a bit of a groove. The contractions are becoming progressively more predictable, let's say. Though every time I try to consciously make a stroke, it kind of moves the electrode a little bit and changes the muscle that it's affecting. It's almost an X. I just need to work on that bottom left quadrant more. I mean, that's not bad. It's not good. I want to do some more to it still. I want to make it more, you know, X-y. And that bottom left is really bleeding. I'm starting to sweat, I think. I don't know if it's because of the contractions or because of the pain. It doesn't like hurt per se. I mean, some of them hurt. Oh, that one was bad. Okay. Ow.
but I am starting to sweat. It could just be hot in my house. I do have a couple of heaters running, which I hope are not audible. Okay, I mean, it's shape-wise, that's great, I think. I just want to, I wanted to be a little bolder, a little darker, so I'm just gonna keep going over it. I can't believe this is what our veterans have to go through every single day overseas. I mean, just boys, you know? Just kids out there. Some of them, I can't prove it, especially because the needle is so small, it seems like so unlikely, but I swear some of these, I'm hitting the same entrance wound, like, over and over and over again. Dude, like, that is not terrible. It's not good, but I mean, given the circumstances, it's getting a little blobby. I might have to kind of drag it out down right here a little bit, but like, not bad at all. Dude, I mean, I'd consider that a success. The lines aren't super clear, but I kind of like that they're not particularly clear. I'd call that good enough. Literally just a sewing needle, and I guess a colored pencil, but like, in theory, you don't need that. This is just to help me hold on to it. Now, the kit that I bought does provide their own stick and pokes, or needles, which it looks like they give you 15. They come pre-sterilized, so you don't need to do all that crazy shit. I'm fucking it up. But, oh, that's the needle part. Okay, I biffed this a little bit then, because I just grabbed the F out of that. All right, this one's not sterile anymore, and it's bad juju. I don't know. Let me get a new one. You're fucking joking. Well, that's not sterile anymore. Fucking son of a bitch. Third time's a charm. I'm gonna open it on the table, because the table is clean enough. I probably should have turned off the freaking, TENS unit while I was doing this, but I'm a bad boy, so I don't freaking care. Okay, they do give you a little holder thing, but I don't need it. Let's do X number 2. I should have done this left to right, because now I'm gonna be all up on my wound. That's okay. So the needle's actually much smaller. Sewing needle, you see the tip is like one big thing versus this is actually 4 very, very tiny needles. If that's not obvious on video camera, I'll probably just take a picture. Oh, I guess 30 minutes went by. I forgot these are on a timer. Okay. Interesting. In terms of like a per stick thing, that feels like, it seems like more ink, but I don't know. And I think the reason I was getting better at it was because the contractions get weaker over time, but because since I reset the machine, this is bad. I feel like I'm packing a lot more ink, but my lines suck. The other one, since I feel like I wasn't packing as much ink, the fact that the lines suck is like not a big deal, but since I'm really packing it in here, it looks bad if the lines aren't clearly defined. Needles, there's lots of different kinds. More specifically, obviously I have a little bit of a medicine background, and so getting hypodermic needles is also really easy. Like needles that you use for syringes, it is a very bad idea to use syringe needles for tattoos because those are huge. They're literally designed to poke holes in you, and you don't want to poke holes, or at least not like gaping holes. You just want like just beyond surface level pokes, and syringe needles they'll just make you bleed. Like maybe they can hold ink better, but it's just gonna be scarred and blown out and all that stuff. Okay, it started out kind of rocky, but it is better, I think, than previous one. I think I'll call it there. So those are kind of those 2 done. I was thinking about while I was doing the kit stick and poke, one thing people don't appreciate is that there's a lot of innovation as it pertains to healthcare and war. And so I thought to myself, you know what, the people out in the field, they're not just sitting there with like rocks and sticks, you know what I mean? They have like advanced military technology provided by the government. And so I thought, they surely have access to tattoo guns when they're in the foxhole in like Syria or whatever. And realistically, a tattoo gun is just a motor that moves the needle like this, right? So it occurred to me, I could do that in the comfort of my own home. And so what I've done is I've taken the stick and poke needle and I've taped it to the side of a massage gun. And so now when I turn it on, it'll repeatedly do the thing that I need it to do. So I'm gonna try and make a third X. That's loud. I'm gonna try and make a third X with this fucking monstrosity. Okay, you're gonna laugh. I think it's actually really good. I think it actually works really well. I mean, if I get the depth correct, like, I think this actually works perfectly. All right, let's see. How did we do? Dude, like, that's really good. Like, that's really good, right? I mean, am I tripping? That's so much better. I'm actually so excited. I mean, it's not comfortable to hold at all. But no shit, it's really good. I don't have the thingy on. Hold on. That's why it was so easy. That's why I was having too much fun. Though I don't think this will change much. Oh my god, it changes everything. Yeah, I'm definitely blowing it out with the thing on. You can even see, like, you can see how much more red that is. That's okay. Still gonna finish this up. Okay. All right. This hand. I mean, it's definitely, you can tell. You can look how densely it's packed. You know what I mean? Like, if I wasn't fucking hooked up to this torture device, this is such a viable idea. I'm getting ink on the tip of it, but like, who cares? If I can keep the depth, like, if I can keep the thing at a consistent height, like, it even hurts less because I'm not fucking randomly look how good that is. I still need to like draw it down here a little bit more, but look how much better I'm packing the ink, especially that first. This is what I did like the first when I wasn't hooked up to anything and I was just taking it nice and slow. Like, look how dark that is. That's perfect. Dude, like, I nailed that shit. Look at that. It's definitely blown out. Some of these are definitely wounds. But like, look how good that is. I wonder, I don't know if the GoPro can really appreciate. Can you see that on the phone? Can you see how good that is? Right? Like, that's sweet. That's tight as heck. Okay, well, that went a lot better than I thought it would. Like, a lot better. How long did that take? That was almost an hour. What am I at? I'm at power level 3, 4-ish. Oh my god. Ow. Okay. I heard something pop. That was not good. All right, I'm gonna clean up. I'll see you guys in the next segment, whatever the hell it is. Okay, hello. It's been about a week and change since I tattooed myself. Here it is. It's healing okay. You can tell it's kind of has some dry spots. It scabbed over here and I picked at it. That's why there's kind of this missing spot right here. But otherwise it healed really well, I think. I'll put a little montage. I took some photos over time over what it looks like. But you'll notice that these two right here, the actual stick and poke ones, they actually expanded. They like kind of spread out after the poke actually happened. So, but it did occur to me, I did a terrible job aftercare wise. I like barely washed the thing outside of showers. I barely lotioned the thing outside of directly after showers, which probably is not a good trait. Probably not indicative of me being a very good wartime nurse, because nurses actually do like consistent maintenance and care for patients afterwards. Maybe I'd be a much better kind of surgeon or hero, maybe. I don't know what role that is or what job offer that is, what employment rank hero is, but that's probably what I would be if I had to guess. But yeah, that's kind of it. Thanks so much for watching. Till next time.